Welcome to the Claws Out podcast. We are back live at the Mic'd Up studio here in Parramatta. I've got Gary, Steve and Rob. After a bludger of a game in Newcastle, the West Tigers going down 12 points to 6 to the Knights. Rob, you were at the Summerhill Hotel for a watch-along. How'd that go?
It was going well till about 20-odd minutes to go. Not as big a turnout as we got last time. Thanks to all the people that did show up. We tried to have a good time. Nearly got into a stoush with a Newcastle smartass.
That may be the most interesting part of the pod.
Yeah, it could be. But,
Might have been better than the game itself.
Let me tell you, if he'd have tried to do something, he would have dropped me in half a second, okay? But I was prepared to drop. I was pretty pissed off.
When did you watch the game, Steve?
I was at the Orange Grove
Okay.
today. Yeah, a couple of us went along and watched the game, and it was an awesome afternoon. Really enjoyed myself.
Fired up, Steve, over there, so we'll wait and see what he's got in store. But, Gary, it's good to see you back. You've been on and off a bit the last month, but health's okay?
Yeah, it's getting there. It's on the improve. So, yeah, hopefully be a little bit more consistent over the next month or so.
Main emotion after that loss?
That was just a horrible game of football. Really disappointed in our performance. Newcastle were really poor and we were worse.
Rob, I can see you're very flat, but what is your emotion? Are you angry or are you flat or are you just defeated?
I'm definitely defeated. That was a game we should have won. Newcastle were awful. I can't question the physical effort of the team. I thought the lack of rugby league IQ in their red zone, and I don't mean by scoring tries, just the lack of IQ, the awful kicks, the running the ball at certain times on the last tackle, getting caught near the corner post on the fourth and fifth tackle. We had no game plan in the red zone, and it showed. It was just an awful tactical performance, and that goes back on the halves and the coach.
Come on, Steve, let it loose.
Oh, mate, I'm defeated. I'm totally defeated. I'm just sick of it. You know, like this was a game we had to win, and Newcastle were there. You know, like last week the Dolphins were there for the taking. Now maybe last week you can blame injury. Like we had injury in the game. Maybe you can blame, but this week there was no excuse, right? I actually thought we turned up, Rob, with a decent game plan. It was obvious we were playing conservatively, playing within ourselves, just going straight and hard. And for the first half, I thought we were doing enough that we were going to win that game. But just so typical of West Tigers, we can't sustain it for 80 minutes. We can't do what needs to be done for 80 minutes, and we blow it. We blow an absolute winnable game through poor ball handling. Rob said it. Poor discipline, critical errors at the wrong times, and yet again we've just screwed up another season.
And the thing is, it's okay to go into a game with a conservative game plan, especially in a game that got very wet. But when you get your opportunities in the red zone, you need to take them. We had plenty of opportunities today in that red zone. We had plenty of opportunities to put that game away. And playing conservative is fine, but you got to perform better in the red zone than we did today. And that's really why we're sitting here today on a game that we probably should have won by 16 to 20 points in the end. Newcastle were that bad.
And even with that, Gary, even with our poor execution in the red zone, third, fourth tackle, how many times did Newcastle turn over the ball and give us another opportunity to attack that red zone? But we were clueless. We kept going right. Like the one player that's shown any ability to beat a man in the last month has been Jerome Luai. And every time we went right, and I understand we went right, because, like we got Dewey back, and he can be dangerous, but you've got to give Luai the ball as well. He was starved of possession all game.
There were sets of six in that red zone where we had full sets of six in that red zone.
Didn't touch it.
And he didn't get the ball at all. We didn't go to left at all. And we've got to be much better than that. He was trying to slide to the right at times, but the only time he was sliding to the right was when we were 40 to 50 metres out from our try line. So it was really confusing, our red zone attack today.
We'll dig right into the attack and we'll talk about some of the performances and what went wrong, but like a Tiger moment to start with.
It encapsulates a lot of things, but my like a Tiger moment was in the Dom Young try at the end of the game. The standout for me, and this is the true like a Tiger moment, is Terrell May chasing. Okay, he's played 80 minutes. I know he didn't get a hand on Young, but he's forced Dom Young back inside. He's played a full game, and a prop forward to put a chase like that, that's all heart and all effort. But further to that like a Tiger moment, it's typical Tigers that Jureen Buller jumps up, ball hits him on the chest. Like, it's hard in wet conditions. I'm not having a go at him. But in typical Tigers fashion, we're about to win the game because he's going to catch a bomb, hopefully break a tackle and fall over the line and score. And then they go over 100 metres to score a try. That, in a negative way, is also a Liger Tiger moment. But look, Terrell May's just, had the legs run out of him for the last few weeks. I hate him playing 70, 80 minutes, and we're not going to get the great version of Terrell. We're just going to get – he's turned him from a sprinter to a stayer. Okay, that's the only way I can – he's just got to pace himself all game. But to do that in the 80th minute of a game, not having had a rest, outstanding.
Yours?
Oh, well, mine was the Dewey short ball for the Suka try. I just thought, we've been missing that deft of hand on both left and right, and so to have him come back and throw that pass early in the game for a 6-pointer, that's something we've been lacking for a while. So it was a good moment.
Look, mine's a little bit different, and it's not a positive one. It's basically we're at that point in the season again where I think most of us sitting around this table think the season's done, and over the past 5 years, getting to this point of the season so early in the season again, there's still a couple of months to go, and we're looking at another season that's probably over at this point, and you don't get anything more Tigers than that.
Okay, I'll just give a rap to Terrell's brother, Taylor, just to come back from 2 shoulder dislocations. It's easy, like I said to Adel, you get paid the same if you sit on the sidelines. Would have been easy for him to sit out the year, but come back again, and that shoulder was obviously hanging by a thread, and he'll be done for the year now, but just credit for him getting out there. Back to that last try, is that, I know both teams had bludgers of a game, but is that a difference maybe between the two teams as they're capable of scoring a 100-metre try? As bad as they were, they have players like Fletcher Sharp and Dom Young who can go the length of the field. We had a player in open space, 30-metre head start, get run down. Well,
there you go. Other than Greg Marju, I don't think everyone else in that team scores that try what should have been a try to Macassini. The fact that he's 19 and Ponga did give him 30-yard start basically and got him about less than comfortably, like he wasn't even close to the try. He was about 10 metres out and probably slid a little bit. That's the turning point of the game. And a great tackle by Toa, by the way, that I think forced the ball loose. It's just, mate, I'm not in a really good mental space right now. I'm pretty deflated because, like the boys said earlier, we had, I think from the last 8 minutes of the first half, we had a ton of red zone opportunities, and then the first few minutes of the second half, and you knew we weren't going anywhere. And we were doing a live watch today on West Tigers TV, and so I'm not a hypocrite because I was saying it at the time. I even said with 31 minutes left, just take the field goal now and worry about scoring tries for the rest of the game. We were just clueless in the red zone, and given last week that Jerome Luai puts 2 grubber kicks that led to tries, and Jerome Luai doesn't put 1 grubber kick today, not one. Adam doesn't put a grubber kick except for the one that was a 6 again, not 6 again, and got the ball after the second or third go and put a kick. There was no definitive grubber kick. There was suddenly we went away from attacking bombs in the second half to Skelton. I don't know, mate. I just don't know what the game plan was. Like Benji can talk about playing the long game and all that sort of stuff, but if you're playing the long game, that's why the kicks have to be better on the last tackle because you're not trying to do a fancy play. But it just looked like, you know what, we'll just wing it and see what happens. And it was awful, mate. I just can't believe that last tackle option for that whole second half. It drove me bananas.
But why does that happen? Like you got Abby Coruscant, whose footy smarts are better than most, controlling the ruck. You got Jerome Luai. Is he just too quiet? Like, does Adam
would be a dominant caller.
Would he be overcalling him?
Could be.
But surely if he's overcalling him, like we're not talking about a 19-year-old dummy half. We're talking about Api Coruscant. Surely he knows to get the ball to the left, on at least 40% of the time.
I've spoken a lot before Luai has had a really good last few weeks. I've wanted him to be more selfish all season, and I don't think it's that he's quiet or he's shy of calling the ball. I think he defers to other people and needs to play the game a lot more selfish than he did today and than what he has for the majority of the time he's been at our club because he needed more ball today. And in regards to that opening 10 minutes, Newcastle came out in that second half and I that first 5-10 minutes, I didn't think they came out ready to play. They didn't look interested at all. And we didn't take advantage of that period.
They were going the soft option.
Mate,
they were
100%
they were trying to throw the ball. They threw the ball over the sideline to the right. Ponga tried to push a pass near halfway that led to someone getting shoved over the sideline, the left-hand sideline. And you just thought, they don't want it. We were saying at the pub, at Summerhill Hotel, they don't want it. It's ours. And like I said, I can't question the physical effort. We were just so dumb today. Dumb. Okay, and that dumb goes on our halves. I'm glad we had Adam back. He had a great game, but the negative on what Adam and Jerome did today was dumb last tackle options. I'm really disappointed, mate.
Is the season over, Steve? Because I think Rob said last week we could afford to lose this game on paper because technically we're only 7 and 8 and we do have a favourable run home. But for me, it was just the fact that we could lose to a Newcastle side that played terribly. That's the thing. Like, I don't have faith that we can be confident that we'll win any game based on that. We will. But like Newcastle at halftime were completing at 52%. We had 57% of the ball. I mean, they end up making 6 line breaks to 1, so that says what Rob's saying about our attack. Our attack was absolutely listless. I know it was treacherous conditions, very slippery. It looked like an ice skating ring at times out there. But is the season over?
Yeah, I think it is. We needed to win today. You know what really put me over the edge was driving from the Orange Grove to here and had ABC radio on, and they're talking about next week's game, and they're all predicting St George to knock us over. Like St George can't beat an egg, right? But they're tipping.
We're an egg.
Newcastle would have lost to everyone today. Maybe St George. I don't know. I thought they were diabolical, Newcastle.
Oh, they were. But what I think happened, I agree. In the first half, they were trying to win easy. They were trying to get out onto the edge and run
and
around
the
us.
second half.
Yeah,
really.
But then they did, and I don't know at what point in the second half, but then they started to go through the like Frizzell,
turning the ball inside.
And going through the middle, and they gave up that trying to get around us on the outside, and that's when we didn't have an answer because they started to make yardage and they did. But our season's gone.
They started to play wet weather football, and I don't think that ever really entered our mind properly today.
What about the use of the bench? You were critical of it last week. A couple of surprises, at least, just on paper today. Mav Guy playing 37 minutes and Latu coming on, I think, for the back end of the game, but he was definitely at dummy half between the 60th and 70th minute when we had opportunities to go back in front.
Again, I guess that depends on who's injured. Obviously, tailing off early to Ruva getting that head knock. That's another dumb moment, guys. Sorry. If you copped it in the head, stay down. Okay, because all it did was just got him taken off. But
he's done it before. He did it early last season where he copped the head knock, stayed down, and got a HIA out of it. And Benji said to him at the time, don't do that again. And he was obviously, he did cop a bit of a knock, and he didn't look real great going off, but to me it looked like he was trying to get the penalty.
They stayed down at every opportunity. That McEwen or whatever his name is, mate, Academy Award stuff he was trying to do. He just went down flopped as soon as he got touched. One was like a hand from Macassini. It wasn't even a swinging arm, and he stayed down. We're not
smart enough to do it. You've got to do it.
We're either not smart enough to do it or we're not being coached to do it. Okay, now whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's a dumb thing. That's what it is because other teams are doing it. We should be doing it. That would have been a penalty to Ruva, 40 metres out from Newcastle's line, maybe too far to kick a goal. But you put it into touch and you're in the red zone, and I'm sure we would have butchered 6 fucking tackles after that anyway.
But it's like you either I don't understand. Not just West Tigers. I don't understand this when I see this in any game. You either stay down, or you get up quickly and play the ball. This half and half, let's put on a show for a couple of minutes, then get up. That does nothing.
You're right.
Once he starts, he's got to stay down. And this is this attention to detail that I've talked about for years because it's come out. I haven't used it at all this year. We did a short kickoff at the end, and the execution was absolutely shithouse. You've only got one job, all right, every day is to go out onto a football field and practice doing the stuff that wins your football games. Our short kickoff went 20 metres. That's why we're a half-assed football club. Because we never execute, we never get the attention to detail right, and we stuff up our opportunities because of it.
Any reaction to that?
I can't disagree with it. It was a terrible short kickoff, and
I would have even gone short. There was 4.5 minutes left.
Oh, you got to go short.
Pin them deep, let them come, get the ball back in field position, maybe 40 or 50 out from their line.
You know what? You can do either. You can go short, you can go long.
Not 20.
What you can't do is do
in
that,
between.
Yeah. And that's what we did. Terrible kick that just gave them good field position and didn't give us an opportunity to compete.
We won't talk about turning points, but the most disappointing thing to me is I think I don't want to say we've made excuses for the team, but there have been reasons for some of our heavy losses, and I think we've only won 2 of our last 8 or 9. But I think we've probably run out of excuses today. Like we had a lot of cattle back. We have gradually been getting them back, and I just don't think we can blame injuries for the loss. I don't think we can blame referees. I don't think we can blame bad bounces of the ball. We had an opposition that played poorly. I think West Tigers fans, some of them will be angry today.
Yeah, you make your own luck, and we didn't take our opportunities all game, and we didn't. I think we got one forced goal line dropout again. I haven't checked the stats or anything. I know there was one in the first half that Buller ended up diffusing when Dom Young tried to bat it back in. That's the only one I remember. We're just not a smart football team. There's no excuse. Again, I want to repeat this. Can't fault the physical effort. Okay, Benji had them ready to play, and he had them ready to play that grinding type of forcings back game. But when you're playing that sort of game, all you need for the cherry on top is the last tackle kick. That's all you need. Just put them under pressure, put a goal line dropout, put a kick where it can ricochet and go a few different ways like they do and like things that happen to us. We did not make our own luck today, Eddie, and that's why we lost. And I hate to say it, even though I think we were the better team in terms of effort, we got what we deserved. Okay, there's no excuse.
We've been strong this year about that mentality change, and I think, it's 18, 17 rounds in and the club's been competitive in not every game, but every game we've had close to our full strength. But do you start to bring some of those things into question, the mentality and the culture change, when you can't ice a game that was clearly there for the taking with a lot of our senior players out there?
You do an hour and a half after the end of a game, and we're all emotional, and I'm really pissed today. So, I accept.
Pissed or pissed off?
Both.
No, I'm just pissed off. I'm so But yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to say, well, how far have we come? Yeah, we are improving. There's no doubt about that. Like the fact that you can look someone in the eye and say we are giving it a red hot go, effort wise, it is. But our execution, our depth is terrible. Like Gaia, I'm sorry, like he is not a first grader. He's not close to a first grader.
Why is he getting time though?
I don't know.
Mate, he had
Who
to
else
get
is
time
there?
today. You have to have 2 big bodies on the bench you use. And looking at that bench today, and looking at the fact that Benji had not used Gaia in the previous 2 games, I'm thinking, wow, we're literally going to only use Fanua Bole. Okay, Makasini might come on if there's an injury, which he did. We might have Lanyon come on. And who was
Latu came on.
Latu. Like, there's 3 smaller guys. I know Makasini's a big guy, but he's a back. The point is, you only have 1 middle on that bench. So he needs to use 2 middles. He got 37 minutes out of him. He didn't get 37 great minutes.
No, a few really poor errors.
There was a
as
few
well.
really poor errors, one in particular where he lost the ball, but to his credit, he caused an error from the next set of 6 after that to get the ball back. But you've got to have a little bit of trust, because if you're getting 37 minutes out of someone else that got 37 minutes less today, then they're knackered for next week, mate. I don't care how much rest you give them, how many spas and massages and lotions and whatever. You just can't keep squeezing the orange dry, as I said last week. He had to trust someone. He's not good enough, but at least he got 37 minutes out of him, which is better than nothing.
Yeah, and look, we can't be overly critical here, because he has shown this season that he's not up to it. He's shown that, right? And I don't want to be overly critical of the bloke. He's trying his guts out.
Agreed.
But he's not ready, right? He's not first grade
Material.
ready for that length of time anyway, right? Did we have no one else? Obviously not. We had no one else. And this, again, is the thing that's starting to get in my head and concern me. We're doing the same thing we always do. We don't grow our roster. We replace. We don't build. Right? We let Toa go. We bring Avarello in. Okay, you could probably argue that is growing, but we need to build some depth in our roster so blokes like not Gaia aren't coming on. Blokes like Seafarth are coming up into first grade when we've got injuries, and we don't seem to have the ability or the reputation or whatever you want to call it to build depth in our roster so we've got first grade ready players sitting in reserve grade.
The problem is depth takes time to build, and you got to have good young kids coming through to really strengthen your depth. Hoping to have a guy like Toa as depth would be fantastic, but he's on too much money to be that depth player. And that's the issue we have. That's why we've got to let a guy like Toa go to get Avarilla in, because he can't be our depth because he's worth too much money to be our depth. We need a guy like Toa who's on 250,000, not 400,000, not 500,000, not 600,000, and that's where our depth and building that roster becomes difficult because we don't have those quality backups at the right price.
I guess I wasn't arguing that he needed a bigger body in that game. I was just like, do we really have no one better in State Cup than Mav Guy?
He obviously rates Mav Guy ahead of Charlie Murray, so there's nothing wrong with Charlie Murray.
But Charlie Murray's not a big body either.
Not a big body, but someone you can trust to play in the middle generally, and I think do a better job than Guy.
He was pretty
personally.
poor a couple of weeks ago when he got his shot.
All I remember is a drop ball. The rest of his game got blurred out. But it goes to question, I know we're letting Luke Lauliti go and potentially getting Junior Tupu back to the club. We've got Savannah in reserve grade. We've played Toa on the wing. Why aren't we looking for a middle? Like, you want to let Luke go, let him go, replace him with a middle for God's sake. Okay, we don't have a middle. Let's get a middle. We don't need another winger. And we certainly don't need Junior Tupu, who's behind the starting lineup at the Roosters, and he's behind the kid that didn't play football for 3 years. He's behind Tom Talau and Junior Pauga and all these guys. Like, we just don't need him. Like, yeah, he's a big body. I don't care about Cup, but he's not a first grader. He never scored a try for the Roosters, never scored a try for the Dolphins. He scored 10 in about 3 years for us. Mate, could he be revamped at our club? Maybe, but you have to address the position that you're weakest in. And right now, we don't have the depth in the middle. If we're stuck, we can put Savannah on a wing, if we're stuck. But I'm just saying, like, we don't have depth in these other spots. And you have one more big guy go down. What do you do then?
Well, if we didn't have Sione out on an edge, it strengthens our middle. Like, Sione needs to be playing in the middle. I believe he should be starting in the middle, which means Pole starts on a bench. And then you're starting to look at a little bit of depth there. But we still seem to think that Sione is the answer on an edge when we don't seem to have. No, I agree he's not, but he keeps getting picked.
I don't think anyone thinks he's the answer on the edge. I don't think there's another option on that edge. If Ethan Roberts wasn't out injured, I don't know whether he's. I know we had the bye this week in reserve grade anyway, so I think he would be the option on that edge, but he's not available at the moment. So Sione is in that role, and he needs to be back in the middle.
Here's another one that's not the answer for an edge, but we've played him on an edge for 5 years. Put Seyfarth back on an edge. But, I mean, it's going to be better than what Roberts gives you now, and until you find a better solution, put the right pieces in the right places.
Problem was, Seyfarth was needed at lock today, and his first stint at lock was actually quite good up until that first error that he made, but he's needed in that role until 12's back. So
that was just after you said he's playing quite well today.
Yeah, I think he did something poor after you said it for the first time too.
I'm good at that, an old jinx. Probably nitpicking a bit here, Gary, but just back on that bench use, I was surprised Lanyon didn't come on for Appy because last week we were saying, okay, we've obviously written off Latu as a hooker. I think he provides absolutely nothing at hooker, no disrespect, because he's a halfback. And again, in a crucial period of the game, I'm not saying Lanyon could have turned the game for us, but I just felt like we had a lot of ball in there, 20 or 30. I think it was between 60 and 70 minutes, and Latu was in there at 9.
I really thought when Mav Guy came on for Seyfarth, I didn't think we'd see Latu, because if we weren't putting him into that lock role, I thought we must have ridden him off when we brought Lanyon up into that hooker role. I was really surprised to see him come on and replace Appy for that little bit of time Appy had off. That was a shock to me. I would have had Lanyon on for sure.
Did Latu go straight off when Appy came back on?
No, he stayed on.
He stayed on the field. Yeah, okay. And kind of played a lot of first receiver.
Yeah.
That halves combination, we've probably spoken about it already, but it was good to see Adam back out there because that long kicking game in wet conditions made a big difference.
Adam played a fantastic game today, except some of his last tackle options in the red zone. Other than that, he was faultless. He also varied his kicks. It wasn't all high kicks. It wasn't all long kicks. He put rubber kicks occasionally. He put a couple of chip kicks late in the first half into the corner. He chose to run at the right time when he ran. Unfortunately, when he made the right play when someone charged up on him and he ran and tried that chip over the top, just landed a fraction too deep, and with a greasy surface it bounces forwards instead of backwards. We're not getting the moments, guys.
What about that steal on Gagai? That was brilliant.
Yeah,
that was brilliant.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah, and they were on their way too. That was an important steal. But yeah.
Steve's done.
I'm done.
Yeah. Spoken about Jerome, it was. Yeah, we touched on it before, but it was interesting that first half because he's been in such good form. Whether he actually takes a big seat to a louder voice in Adam, who would be a louder voice than Jock, or whether it was game planning, or do we have to put a little bit of the blame on Appy there for not getting in the ball because he's got in charge at the ruck there?
I think as a club we need to get that balance better. I thought Adam was very good today, but we went far too often to his side. There's got to be a lot more balance in what we're doing. We weren't playing both left and right evenly enough for me.
Especially when Taruva is not a designated right centre, because he hasn't done anything at right centre in attack, and I love the bloke. The closest he got was when he made a break against Parramatta at Combank months ago when he was playing right centre. Looked like he might have scored and then saw the try line and went the other way. Like, he's not the guy you're targeting. You should be targeting, well, I know he was off after 17 minutes, but you got to be targeting Taylor May's side. That's been the more lethal side. It just made no sense to me.
I was really surprised to actually see Taruva start in the centres. When I looked over and saw that Toll was out on that left wing, I wasn't expecting that today. I thought we'd kind of put that experiment of Taruva in the centres to bed, but it appears not.
The only thing I can think of, normally I think Taruva is actually quite solid defensively, like Skelton's not. But I think putting Stafford out on a wing was because of his one-on-one defensive efforts, and maybe Benji, like in the past, he has shown that. Like, he actually makes a one-on-one better than when he's in the line, and working.
Well, he doesn't
together.
have to make the decision; the centre makes the decision for him.
That's true, right? And maybe it was covering up a weakness, but I also think if they get a 2-on-1, he's good at jumping in and doing a one-on-one smother. So maybe that was why he was there, but that's all I can think of.
I thought Toll was pretty good on that wing again today, though.
Just that game plan itself, and it's difficult when we all come in 20 minutes after a game and we watch the game and we're emotional about it, but were they moving the ball a little bit too side to side? Certainly Newcastle were. Like, they made, like you said, trying to score tries the pretty way and dry weather football, but I felt like at times I thought Appy, or maybe he's missing some of those middle forwards like Hunt or KPP who can attack that middle of the field, because I felt like that's where the opportunities were going to be today.
I don't think we went as sideways as you're making out. I think we played pretty direct, or maybe it's just the fact that Newcastle were so sideways centric that it made us look like we were going straighter. And I will say, up until that last try that made it, 12-6, I really thought we were coming down Main Street, like Bunty off the back fence down the middle. We were starting to get 10 metres off every ruck, and it was like, this is what a football pack does and how they take their hit-ups and make yardage, but we just could not finish off with a normal last tackle option. I'm not looking for a try. I'm just looking for a grubber kick behind the defence, an attacking bomb, something. It was just so dumb. It really is frustrating, guys. Like, you just can't hide that, and there was time to rectify because we did it the whole second half. So that goes back to tactics, and the tactics go back to Benji. And I'm putting this loss on Benji today, not because he couldn't get them up. He got the boys up. It was because we're not a smart football team, and that was a dumb game plan.
Look, I don't mind the tactic of getting tackled in the corner on the last tackle and using your line speed and defensive effort to pin them down. The problem is we did that a couple of times today, and we had one where we actually held them within the 20. They got to the 20 on the 5th. A Maverick guy hits the guy in the head on the last tackle.
Yeah.
That's where you got to be better. If you're going to do that, you can't give away a cheap penalty like that one was. You have to pin them down. And those sort of things become big moments in the game, and I think that was a huge moment today.
But poor last tackle options undo all your good work that you've done to get down there. So, I don't know. I just think it's just a really poor game plan.
I think that's the point. I actually think the game plan was a good one. I thought we were playing conservative. We played wet with the footy. We drove through the middle effectively.
We didn't grab a kick.
We just had nothing. We had nothing to offer. Our forwards got us into the positions on the football field they needed to, and they did it the right way.
Correct.
But then when we got down there, we had nothing. Nothing.
Like, Rob, surely Benji before the game's not going, okay, no grubber kicks from Jerome today. He just wouldn't do that. Like, sure, you're blaming the execution of our kickers, Appy, Adam, Jerome. You're blaming it on Benji.
I'm putting it on the halves, but there is no way when you've done it for 25 minutes of the second half that messages haven't gone out there and said, mate, next time you're down in the red zone, put a kick in the in goal. There was one part where Stafford put his hand up. Okay, he put his hand up because the grubber kick was on, and Luai didn't probably have enough time to get the grubber kick away, but it was on. Like, there were time, and it's like, I'm like, what am I watching? And you scored 2 tries off it last week when teams were expecting it. And now when people expect it, you don't expect to do it. And like you said, we were right side centric too much to Adam, even to the point where Jerome was going onto the right side of the field, so they could combine together, which that's fine. But come on, man, it was just, I don't know, it's really poor. It's like the icing on the cake wasn't there. Everything else, maybe you're right. Maybe the game plan was correct, but we didn't put that icing on the game plan. Okay?
Fine margins as well, isn't it? Like if Buller leaps and scores that try, that was a good kick by Adam.
Yeah, but we'd still be saying we made it harder for ourselves, Eddie. Sure. And that's the thing. Like the score line, like Gary's right. If you pin them in their corner and it's 6-0 or something, and you force them to make an error, you can get away with that. But at 6-all, you have to score another point to win the game.
Why didn't we set up like we were on the attack? We were in position with 10, 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, never looked at it.
That should have been 5 to the left side of the post, hit a field goal. That's what it should have been.
Adam Reynolds would have done that.
100%.
And even go further than that, set up for a field goal and don't go for a field goal. Like show some variety, show some nous, show some ingenuity, show something.
Even a minute before half time, I was thinking 7-0 lead.
Yeah, I thought too.
Handy.
Yeah.
That set.
That would have happened, but Appy dropped the ball from dummy half.
True. Some of the outside backs' performances, a bit of an elephant in the room. I think Macassini, I feel for him, but Junior said last week he should go to State Cup for the rest of the year. Thrown into a difficult situation against a strong right side Knights attack, but he struggled again.
Defensively, he's not up to it at centre at this point in time. I wouldn't have a huge problem playing him on the wing. He's not ready to play centre at NRL level. Nowhere near ready to play centre at NRL level. So, yeah, the State Cup option is available, but if he's playing first grade, it needs to be on the wing.
Was there anything else we could have done there today? I suppose you had to put him on at centre today with the injury.
Yeah, you could have moved Toa back to centre, but then you're still playing Taruva at centre. But, yeah, it was a tough one.
What do you do with him next week?
You play him at left centre. Okay, he had trouble with Dom Young today. He was awful defensively. I'm not going to deny that.
It's not the first time, though, he's been awful defensively.
Mate, he's up against the worst rugby league player in the competition in Matthew Feeney next week. Okay.
What if he makes him look good, though?
He won't. I think he was just a little bit intimidated by Dom Young. And if we want to be fair about this, they carved us up on that side all game. Taylor May was at left centre, and
in the first minute.
They kept beating us 3-on-3 all game. Like we said on the preview, Kalen Ponga is the king of that 3-on-3 setup and seems to create numbers very easily. It wouldn't have mattered who was there at centre day, but yeah, there were some physical, technical, poor efforts on Young from Macassini.
A positive for that side of the field, I thought Jerome Luai made some outstanding defensive efforts today.
He did. He was very good.
I won't rage bait Rob about it, but there were a couple of couple of his mates.
I dare you.
Yeah,
A couple of his mates that said Buller was disappointing or quiet today. I thought that was a bit unfair. I do think he is favouring that.
Can you believe that? Honestly,
look, Buller under the high ball was absolutely outstanding in the wet. I'm not going to criticise someone dropping an attacking bomb. I will never criticise a player for that. Didn't make a mistake under the high ball. The only thing I'll say about Buller at the moment, and I think it is in relation to his shoulder, is he's passing a little bit early before the line, a little bit earlier than he has been. I don't think he's engaging the line quite as much as he has, but he's absolutely crucial to what we're doing. And if he is a little bit worried about that shoulder, I understand him passing a little bit before the line. So I don't have any major problems with how Jareen played today.
How do you think of his game, Steve?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was solid. Today's not a day for Dream Buller, is it? Like if he loves to come down on the outside and sort of come in at a 45 and then straighten up late. He'd end up getting tackled and sliding 10 metres over the sideline.
He still looked the most likely to break the line.
But it wasn't conditions, Eddie, for Dream Buller. It's not a game for...
Caleb Ponga was quiet.
Kalen Ponga couldn't even stand on his feet. The bloke kept slipping over. Yeah. He needs to go buy another pair of sprigs.
That's a pretty harsh call to criticise Buller for today's game because
it's extremely harsh.
Yeah, he didn't make an error catching the ball right or fielding the ball in the backfield. And on a day like today, just getting that part of your game right is pretty. And
he brought the ball back pretty well. No major problems with him at all.
It's ridiculous. It wasn't a game for him. We are not the same team without Jareen Buller in the team. Defensively, he's pretty good with setting our numbers up. It's not his fault the blokes miss tackles. He sets the numbers up right.
If anyone goes and watches a game, watch him for a 10-minute period and watch how he organises our defence. He is absolutely outstanding for a guy who was considered very quiet coming through the grades. He does an amazing job of
He's worth
setting out
every
offensive line.
dollar he's on. So I don't accept any criticism whatsoever of his game. It's awful.
I thought there were some strong performances in the forwards today, Steve. I thought Fanua Pole off the bench was really strong. Tony Suker, I think 80-minute performance by him. And some guys playing big minutes again. Terrell played 80 minutes. I think Bunty played 34 minutes again and punched out 80-odd metres.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're all pretty good. Suka is really impressing me, actually. I think he's
Made a couple of good tackles
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, he did, and he's just and he's punching through the line a little bit as well. He seems to be stronger than he was. I wouldn't have had him anywhere near first grade at the beginning of the year. Now he's not a bad sort of like replacement. The only problem with our forward pack today, and you can sort of understand it, I suppose, with the weather, but we did make a lot of unforced errors, dropped the ball too many times. The ruck, we were poor at the ruck. Appy was poor today at the ruck, Like Appy's our best player by a country mile, but he was poor at the ruck today.
In regards to Suko, even the effort to score the try he scored, Adam threw him a beautiful ball, but there was still a lot of work to do to get that ball down. I thought he was fantastic today, and I'm really happy to have him in that backup second rower role at our club.
Can I mention another thing? I didn't think of it then. The Bundy Afoa for his first 15 minutes, I thought really set the platform for us. It changed a little bit when he went off, and I looked at the clock. I thought, geez, he's off early. Like, surely he wasn't busted after
16 minutes.
After 15 minutes, yeah. I would have liked to have seen him play 20, 25.
That's when the heat's in the game, though.
Yeah, look, I think the reasoning behind that is they wanted to give him a longer stint in that second half, and he did come on quite early and play.
Did he? I thought he came on in the 70th minute.
No, it was about 18 minutes to go. So
Okay,
we got
Definitely
two.
played 34 minutes. So
Did he?
Two stints.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
then you're right.
Two stints of and getting 34 minutes out of him
That's
is a
great.
bit better than what we've been doing, and it's about right for him. What I do think it's shown the last couple of weeks, and Pole's form has shown the last couple of weeks, he is much better coming off the bench. I think that's his role at our club for the time being, and if we don't have someone who can start in that role for him, then we need to find someone to start in to be that starting prop, because I want Pole off the bench.
You know what else made a big difference today too, and that's Frizzell. Like I don't know how old
He was good off the bench.
how old that bloke is, but when he come on,
Yeah.
like he always gives us trouble. He usually gives us trouble through second phase play, which he gets the ball away, which is not what happened today. But he was strong in the middle.
Yeah, he's got really good footwork before the line, and it's very hard to set yourself to tackle him. Just as you're about to tackle him, he'll just do a little bit of late footwork.
Yeah,
on you and
I
beat
think
you.
I said about 4 years ago he was too old for us to sign. That was a good take.
To be fair, but we would have been paying ridiculous money for him, and he's on the bench for Newcastle.
I don't want to be critical of Terrell because another 80-minute performance. Not many props in the NRL that do that, but it's probably, is it the third or fourth week in a row where a try's gone through the middle where he just looks out on his feet?
I love him, but he's running on empty. I can't fault him in terms of the effort and what he gives us, and we wouldn't be the same team without him. I just think you're getting a watered-down Terrell, and it's just from the backlog of work, not just the last few weeks. I'm talking a season and a half of having a bloke that averaged 46 minutes at the Roosters to now averaging something like 72, 73 for us, and he played the whole 80 today. So for him to, that's why I said that like a tiger moment. For a prop in the 75th minute to run down a bloke and force a speedster to come back inside, that's a Herculean effort.
I was very critical of that try when I first watched it, but he does engage the guy who played the ball and hits the ground, gets back up, and has a second attempt to cover that space. What he probably shouldn't have done is engage the ball player. That put him out of the line, and that's why he didn't get across to make that tackle. It wasn't through, I don't think it was through a lack of effort or through a lack of having the energy to do it. He engaged that defender and hit the ground and had to get back up.
Terrell's mistakes aren't a lack of effort. It's the opposite. It's actually from just getting overexerted and expecting too much out of him. He's not Superman.
But often we look at an isolated incident and blame one person in particular, right? And he when you look at that, he didn't get across. But if I think it was Seafarth, if Seafarth had laid a hand on him and slowed him down just a touch, then Terrell would have been there. So I know Terrell's job is to get across, but that one-on-one miss by Seafarth was very poor as well.
Appy, I thought it was probably his worst game of the year, and I don't want to be critical of him because he's been Herculean for us over a number of years. But it'd be good if Laurie just says, Appy, we don't need you. For
Yeah, definitely. Drop him. Too many errors. He had a shocker.
Imagine if he actually puts Appy and Luai on the six-man bench. That would I was going to swear. That would sum up our club. We're cursed. We're just cursed.
If he put Luai on the bench too, that'd be.
And neither of them will play.
Then
Exactly.
Then we'll all be getting on St George to win next week if that's the case.
Priceless St George.
It's just we expect such high standards of Api Coruscant. I don't think he played badly today. It just wasn't a game where I think he took off twice, maybe from dummy half. Once where he didn't get a 6 again. And when he actually made an incorrect play the ball after that, and then another time. But it wasn't a game for Appy. And again, it's who's he got around him to. He needs your Twally,
even a Royce Hunt, the barge over
advantage
there.
line, yeah.
Close to the line.
After that game, Appy would be very critical of the 2 errors he made. That's all I'm going to say.
But he's human, man.
100%. But he himself would be very critical on those
I can't
errors.
knock out. I tell you what, Appy is saying. I came to this club and I'm not going to play semi-finals again if we don't find something next week and the week after. That's what he'd be saying to himself.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, gee. Well, I gave Doom 3 points. Mainly, I just thought he was solid first game back, and I thought that pass that led to the try was really good. I thought he was strong kicking in a kicking game, so I gave him 3 points. I gave Luai 2 points just for his defence. He should have been much more involved in attack, but I thought his defensive efforts gave him the 2 points, and I gave again Suka my 1 point. Just really impressed with the work he's doing.
Yeah, I'm AD2. I'm AD3. Suka 2, and Paulo coming off the bench I thought was outstanding. He gets my 1.
I'm surprised by that. I just can't find that many points for our playmakers in a game we scored 1 try. And
I can find quite a few players that deserve points. This will probably shock you guys. Stafford Toa 3 points for me. I thought he was magnificent in every single thing he did today. The only regret, I wish he played left wing and right centre today because a couple of times Taruva got the ball in the first half. I think Toa gets through there. I think Best was really flat today, and he was on his heels a lot. And
Taruva got on the outside of him.
And he looked like he beat him on one occasion. I just thought if there was a specialist centre there, their try. So I gave Toa 3 points. I gave Adam 2 points, and he would have got 3 if the last tackle options were better. But I said we can't expect him to go from 0 to 100 in his first game back. He was pretty damn close. He got a couple of things wrong, but he was magnificent. My 1 point goes to Tony Suka. I think when I look to the future of the West Tigers, and I'm really concerned about depth in a lot of positions, particularly forwards, I feel like Tony Suka can come in now and replace a Samuela on the left or a KPP on the right. Not going to be the same player, obviously, but will do an adequate job. And like you said, to finish off that try today, and congrats to him for getting his first ever NRL try. That's a big moment. Great Lebanese pass to a Lebanese runner, which was wonderful to see.
Maybe that's why Adam passed.
Probably the only reason he got the ball.
Adam, you're great.
But yeah, so he got my 1, but I could have given Luai a point. I thought Buller, there was nothing wrong with his game. I thought Skelton had a really big first half. Wasn't involved in the second half, so otherwise I was probably going down the Skelton direction. I thought his involvement in the first half, he was in everything, catching bombs, making tackles, great runs out of our own half. But yeah, Bunty Afoa was great, but you can't give him a point. Like everything he did, and the way he ran that ball at the end of the game, it reminded me of the 80s and 90s. That's how props off the back fence, and it was, even go back to the 70s with old Jeff Robinson. Like it was just, that's how we want our props to run onto the ball.
I haven't had time. I imagine none of us had time to see Benji's press conference. Do you think he'd be pretty critical of his own team? He's usually quite guarded, but
I hope he is. I think coaches have got to use different tactics at different times through the year, and I think it's about time he actually look down the camera at the press conference and say, "I'm not happy with the way the team performed. They were really poor." He hasn't really done that. He tends to blame himself. He tends to shy away from putting the spotlight on poor performances from his players, but I think they need, like today was a must-win game, right? Today was a must-win, and we had the attitude, we didn't have the execution, and we had the same conditions that Newcastle had. They didn't execute either, but they did enough to win. We didn't. We needed to win that game.
Today was a game that you just had to find a way to win it, and Newcastle found a way to win it, and we weren't able to, and that's why we're sitting here now with probably our season over.
Yeah, we looked for that press conference. We can't find it, obviously. He's going to say the same thing. There's no way he can be critical of the effort. He can fault some of the execution, but if he's fair dinkum, he needs to put some blame on the halves for those last tackle options, and he needs to put a lot of blame on himself, okay, because that comes down to not getting the message out there to use your kicking game, use your smarts. We were a dumb football team in that red zone, And given what we did last week in the red zone, which I thought was quite good, today was unacceptable. And I'm honestly, I know you say I'm emotional. I'm going to be feeling like this on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's going to come back to haunt us because Newcastle would have been stuck on 22 and we would have been on 20 and a couple of points out of the 8. And now they're 6 points ahead of us. So it was a massive 4-point competition point swing against us today.
Well, I said a few weeks ago, what's going to really kill us at the end of this season, seeing that we haven't won today, is the fact that we've lost so poorly. We're going to finish we're going to finish close, and our for and against is going to kill us. We needed to win today.
We won't be close enough now for our for and against the matter, I don't think.
I just don't think we're going to be close enough regardless.
Yeah, I agree with
know
you.
what I mean? Sadly.
I agree with you, but everyone's going to say, oh, well, it really didn't matter because we missed the finals by 6 points or whatever the case may be. Games like this can give you
100%.
confidence. They give you momentum. You go in and you beat St George. Suddenly you're 9-7 and you're feeling 10 feet tall, and you might even beat the Warriors who have got some forward injuries and they might pick up another injury. Look, I was happy to write off this week, but given Taylor Mays out.
And given the way they played so poorly, it was just there for the taking. I would have copped it if Newcastle played decent at home.
We forced them into playing poorly. We got the early try to make it 6-0, and we knew if we put scoreboard pressure on them that they would try and take shortcuts. We did everything right. We just couldn't put the nail in the coffin, and that comes down to the heart. And I probably shouldn't blame Jerome as much, and Adam Dewey's my favourite player, but I blame a lot of that last tackle stuff, not because Adam came up with the wrong play, but like from the third tackle, you've got to be setting up for that last tackle, thinking ahead. That's what the great halves do. They think 2 or 3 plays ahead, and we didn't do that today. We didn't put ourselves in position to say execute a left foot grubber kick from Luai or put a right foot grubber kick from Dewey. It was just dumb. It was under 7 stuff, mate. But under 7s.
It didn't seem Luai was even a consideration for for kicking on the last tackle today. At no point. I don't know. I haven't checked the stats, but I don't even recall him kicking at all.
He put a bomb up. He definitely put a bomb up in the first half that I remember.
So we got one.
We got one at least that I can remember. Again, I haven't watched the game either. I've come straight from Summer Hill.
I'll be interested to see what coach or Junior thought of it because they would have crucified Madden if he had bad.
Well, Junior was right. He said we're not going to lose today, and we shouldn't have lost today.
We did lose today.
But we did lose today.
So
he should have been right. He should have been. He should have been right.
Wrong.
Yeah, but
it made you right, but he should have been right.
I think Appy's got to take some responsibility for those fifth tackle kicking options and when we're going left and right.
But it's not his job to kick.
It's not his job to kick, but he's the one. He's the one who makes the decision. He's the one who's sitting at the ruck looking left and right. And where am I giving it? Like they're both calling the ball. Presumably, they're both wanting it. What are we doing? He went right every single time.
Yeah,
if he was being told to, I don't know. But that's
I'm
what
blaming the halves, guys. Sorry, we can disagree on that.
Dragons week, Gary. Every game's so important for this club, and I think we're improving. But it's a big difference, and I never really thought we were going to make the 8 after the injuries. But big difference between finishing 9th and finishing 14th. And some of these games coming up, Canberra, Parramatta, Dragons twice. They're 50-50 games.
They're all winnable.
Yeah, but they're all losable the way we play. They're all losable. So my point is, if we lose to the Dragons, all of a sudden the club's back under the pump a little bit.
If we lose to the Dragons, we are definitely under the pump. They were pretty poor today. I didn't watch it that closely, but a lot of errors on that in attacking positions. One that led to a try. Dragons are not a good football team. Kyle Flanagan is not an NRL half, and
he set up 2 tries today.
I don't care.
For Canberra.
I don't care if he set up 2 for St George.
Watch him score a hat-trick next week.
It is a game we should win, but it's a game I am very nervous about heading into next week.
We have to lick our wounds and show up, guys. Hopefully we get, I don't know if Samuel is back. Hopefully.
Supposed to be.
Well, Twal was limping a lot more than I've only got 7 days and I'll be right again. That looked like a pretty heavy limp. So I don't know if he'll be back. Taylor May is irreplaceable. But again, I think you just got to pick Macassini again. I keep saying it. His opponent isn't great. Yeah, if he was up against a world-class centre, I wouldn't put Macassini at left centre, but keep him going. Let him learn. Who do you replace him with? Herbert's out. Toa, in my opinion, was the best player on the field today. Why would you move him from left wing?
So you're playing Taruva at right centre again?
Have we got anyone else back? I don't want that.
Falau, go sign him maybe.
That horse is bolted too, and
Junior Tupou, he might be available next week.
he can't play anything, mate. He's a big body. That's about it. But you're right. He might be with us. Well, June 30 is coming up, so
Yeah, it has to be this week.
Has to be this week if something's happening. But I'd
Schuster,
rather
put Schuster out in the
no,
centre.
no, don't go there.
Sorry, I'm taking
We
the
signed
piss.
Schuster. We did sign
We did sign
You know-
to a New South Wales Cup contract.
I can cop you trolling and Eddie trolling a lot, but Steve as well. Unbelievable.
All right, well, not the result we wanted today. A disappointing 12-6 loss to the West Tigers, but we front up and we'll front up again on Tuesday to preview the Dragons game. Thanks for listening, Tigers fans, and see you next time.